citizens need to be about keeping these commandments.
This is not what I expected out of them. The true Bible, the book of our fathers.
Right. The Most High has given us guidance on what we need to do.
To Officer Eli. To Officer Nashon. Officer Ezekiel.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Most High in Christ bless you all. Most High in Christ bless you all. Happy Prep Day as we prepare for the Sabbath. I'm Bishop Yawasop and my crew.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Captain Sariah.
Shalom, Israel. Officer Ezekiel.
Shalom, Officer Eliakim.
All praise to the Most High. So we're preparing, like we said, this is a prep day, and we're preparing for the Sabbath as we do. It's around that time. But we're going into the third part of our series, Traumatizing Needs of Pressure. Traumatizing Needs of Pressure. This is primarily centered around Leviticus 26. Let's read that verse, 16, 26 and 16.
Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 16.
Yes, sir.
I also will do this unto you.
Because we, the Israelites, we broke the laws of the Most High. We refused to keep his commandments, and these commandments that God gave us was based on conditions, meaning that we had to keep the laws in order to inherit the blessings. And if we broke the laws, we would receive the curses. So this is what happened to the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, read it again. I
also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror.
So this is the reason why this series is labeled the traumatizing needs of pressure, because this pressure brings the terror upon us. Okay, let's get right into our disclaimer. All right, come on with it.
Israel united in Christ.
We have to do this.
We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1, King James Version.
All praise to the Most High. And this is true. This is what we believe. This is how we operate, because that's recorded in the Bible. And the book of Romans, the 13th chapter, also talks about that. Okay. What I want to get back into, let's read that Leviticus again. Let's just set this tone, and we're going to get right into the part 3 of our series.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 16. I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror.
I will even appoint over you terror. I will even appoint unto you Israelites, you disobedient Israelites. I will appoint unto you terror. And this is exactly what we've experienced, and we continue to experience that thing, because we are still in the action of not repenting. We're still going away from the Most High, and the Most High is going to continue to turn the heat up on us until we realize our offense and acknowledge it and return unto him. So the point that I want to draw out of there is the terror. The Most High says it's going to put terror on us. Now, last week we talked about Derek Chauvin when he was in the courtroom, and you had the sister Darnella, who was 17 at the time. And I wanted to draw points to what you actually saw on YouTube and what she actually saw meaning in the actual court, because YouTube has scaled the picture down for you not to see where Derek Chauvin's knee was literally pressed upon George Floyd's neck. He was squeezed into the cement, squeezed into the pavement. They didn't show that on the YouTube, but the sister saw that in the courtroom, because that was actually her phone. So when she saw the picture, when the lawyer, the attorney said, "Can you put up exhibit?" I forget the number of it, but when he put the exhibit up there and it had Derek Chauvin's face looking directly at the sister, she saw a maniac. She saw a terrorist. She saw a murdering maniac. That's what she saw. She saw the whole picture. She didn't just see his torso. She saw his head, his knees. She saw George Floyd's face mashed into the ground. She saw all of that. And that's the reason why she was terribly traumatized. Yes, show that again since we talked about it. This is what she saw, but they didn't show this on the YouTube video. That's what I want y'all to understand.
She saw a natural born killer.
Right. This is what she saw. And like I did last week, I said zoom in. We ain't got to do it now. But when I said zoom in, you can see, look at that. Look how bad that thing looks. This is what she saw. And she was absolutely terrified.
Look how calm he is.
And look how calm he is. So this is the terror that has been put over our people. So this is what we talked about last week. So now I want to move on into some other points, because the judge had some discussion about what we just witnessed. Let's play that. Let's get the thing set up. This is a video entitled "Ruling Open Door for Longer Sentence in the Derek Chauvin Case." Play it.
Good evening. Derek Chauvin may get a longer prison sentence after a new development in court today. Judge Peter Cahill announced he found aggravating factors in Chauvin's case, and that could lead to more time behind bars. Last month, a jury found Chauvin guilty of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. Chris Rapsky joins us now in studio to break down how this ruling could change the sentencing guidelines.
Hi, Lauren. Yeah, this is the first time that we've heard the judge's opinion on the manner in which Floyd was killed. And in finding these aggravated factors, it gives the judge the ability to sentence Chauvin above the recommended sentence of 12 and a half years in prison and potentially go up to a maximum 40-year sentence.
Pause it. So this terror that Chauvin did in front of witnesses, in front of the kids, in front of Donella, everybody's minds is super messed up now because of this terrorist act that was done. So the judge was, quote unquote, forced to look at other aggravating factors. Normally this would have not even been mentioned.
Right.
But there's so much that could happen on the backside of things. They say, you know what, we better dig a little deeper and completely throw the book at this guy. Mm-hmm. He's going to be the fall guy for the whole deal, because that doesn't change the racist policies of this country. Don't be fooled by that. Although we're looking at this particular situation here, the point is to burn Chauvin to win the love of Negroes, which is okay. I'm gonna leave that alone for the moment. But I want to get more into this particular thing here. Play. Back it up just a little bit. Let's get some of these things here, these statements. Let's go.
The ability to sentence Chauvin above the recommended sentence of 12 and a half years in prison and potentially go up to a maximum 40-year sentence.
I understand the argument.
In a new court document, Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill lists 4 facts that support a harsher than normal sentence. Cahill found first, Derek Chauvin abused his position of trust as a sworn police officer. Second, he treated Floyd with particular cruelty. Third, there were children present during the crime. And fourth, the act was committed with a group of at least 3 other people.
He just needs one.
Hold it. Stop. Y'all don't want to comment on that stuff there?
Right.
Y'all see what's happening here? They said the aggravating factors, in addition to George Floyd being murdered, it said that he abused his position of trust. That's what they call public trust. Mm-hmm. He abused that. Mm-hmm. He also treated Floyd with particular cruelty. Meaning that's that indifference, when you have no empathy, no sympathy, nothing. You're thinking that he's just totally an alien to you, where you don't have to share any human characteristics with him. That's what that part means.
That's that photo. That's the photo we seen.
Yes, sir.
He just
exactly
killed him with no remorse.
Exactly. Go back to the photo again, if we can, just because I want them to see when it says particular cruelty. This is what it means, and this is what Darnella was witnessing. That's what you call. He wouldn't do his son like that. He wouldn't do his own people that way. That's what the particular cruelty is. And again, don't get twisted off of thinking that all of a sudden America has fallen in love with you so-called blacks and Hispanics. That's not what's happening here.
Right.
Okay, so don't fall asleep on that, because this is obvious. You look at this here and you don't see, they don't do white folks like this here. They don't do their own like this here. White folks walk through open areas with AK-47s, anything, and it's no problem. They talk them down. Dylan Roof, like the attorney said the other day. Well, no, what was it? That preacher in North Carolina, I forget his name. That preacher that we had on a few weeks ago.
Right.
He said that Dylan Roof killed and murdered folk, and he got arrested. He didn't die. He didn't get murdered. He didn't get shot, tased, or nothing.
Went to Burger King
because he was hungry. George Floyd asked for water. He asked for air. That's the particular cruelty and the indifference. Okay? So the reason why I'm bringing these points up is because Derek Chauvin didn't learn this in a vacuum. Okay? And that's what we're about to bring up now. Because again, I wanted to make the point that you kind of see how the media is zeroing in solely on the police. They're making you think that the police is the culprit and everybody else is about justice. Derek Chauvin did not learn his inhumane actions toward George Floyd on his own, or he didn't just quote unquote learn it from the police department. That was inbred in him. In this society, and that's what we're going to talk about in the few parts of these videos. You mentioned something last week, Eliakim, about Derek Chauvin, and I wanted to expound on that thing. What did you say?
Derek Chauvin would have done that or been able to do it even if he was not a police officer. He already had it in him.
Right.
People blame the police.
So the question is, wait. You say he already had it in him. So if he already had it in him, because that's obvious, and we're going to prove that, he already had it in him. If he already had it in him, why is this social engineering trying to focus us to only look at one segment of the whole tree? That's the point. Yeah. Because you got to look at the whole totality of the whole thing. Okay, I'm gonna play a video that's gonna lend some credence to that statement. Okay, so, but just like you said, rather he'd have been. Just imagine if he was a doctor. That ain't got nothing to do with police. He would have been jacking black people up in the hospitals.
Right.
What if he would have been a teacher? He would have been lying and teaching. He would have dealt with the children the same scholastically. He would have dealt with the children scholastically the same way that you see him physically with this particular cruelty that he did to George Floyd. That's what we would have witnessed. If he was selling ice cream, he'd probably drop the ice cream and then put it on the cone and give it to you.
Yep.
You understand? Right. So that hatred and terror is in them, and it is bred. It's inbred in them. Okay? And the society gave them the authority to be that way. It encouraged them. And that's what we're going to show you. I hope you brothers and sisters understand that. Don't fall asleep on what the judge did. Give me the video again. Back it up again. Let's get the whole thing.
I understand the argument.
In a new court document, Hennepin County Judge Peter Cahill lists 4 facts that support a harsher than normal sentence. Cahill found first, Derek Chauvin abused his position of trust as a sworn police officer. Second, he treated Floyd with particular cruelty. Third, there were children present during the crime.
The children present. Let me deal with that. The children were present at the time. That is the same comparison that we talked about with Willie Lynch. When our sister was tied to a tree and cut open, and they made children watch. That is a level of trauma. That is a level of cruelty that these babies had to witness and carry that inside of them. So how in the world you just going to just say that's Derek Chauvin? Your whole history lends to that kind of treatment. Okay, we never really got over that trauma. That trauma was passed through, like I said last week. We were fed punk milk from that time, from when that the fear and terror coursed through the veins of our mothers and through our fathers and brought it all the way down to now. And we come out terrorized. We scratch when we don't itch. Can you dig it?
Yes, sir.
We looking all down to white folks. All of that is because that is inbred. We learned that. We just have this subservient feeling. That's not natural. That was part of the curriculum of America. And that's the reason why these things are happening. So don't just put this on Chauvin particularly. Chauvin is a part of the old American way.
Like when you say, Bishop, sometimes like, why do we got to get quiet when?
Exactly. You remember I used to say that, right?
Right. Okay.
I used to see that everywhere. I saw that in New York, in the jobs, everywhere. Go ahead.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's passed down.
It's passed down. Don't even realize it.
You don't even realize it.
Don't even realize it.
You ain't even conscious of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's it. Exactly the deal. Think about that. All right. So it says, put it back up there. The children, the aggravating factors, abuse of trust or public trust. As a peace officer, police officer, you get the public's trust, and they swear you in on that. That's what that's talking about. He also treated George Floyd, with particular cruelty, meaning not human. This is outside of the scope of dealing with human beings. He dealt with George Floyd as if he was some animal or gorilla in the midst. The same thing like they dealt with Rodney King. This is the reason why I made that comparison to Rodney King. They dealt with him just like that. Here they were trying to break his legs. Meanwhile, they had a rope around his neck. That's in the video. If you watch the video again, you will actually see one of the officers, the white officers, was at a far distance, almost out of the frame of the camera. But you can see he just pull on the rope every time Rodney King tried to get up. When he tried to get up, he pull it to make him fall again. And they're saying, oh, he was trying to attack the police, when he was actually trying to escape death.
Right.
That's what you saw. So, again, that's particular cruelty. How come these aggravating factors were not put in the Rodney King trial? How come that didn't come up?
Right.
And guess what? I got the videos because I have some videos on Rodney King, which is further up. I might have the chance to play them, but Rodney King ended up dying in a swimming pool.
Right.
And he was a better than average swimmer.
Right.
Because he was learning that for his therapy. Therapy for what? For what had happened to him. So he knew how to swim. So why all of a sudden he's at the bottom of the pool dead? Because those demons, when I say demons, meaning the conscience of us tells us why in the world why are we in this condition? Why is it that I had to be called a gorilla in the midst? Why did I have to be, they called me a lizard and beat me half to death and all of that? And you wrestle with that thing. And some of us think that our skin is the reason for it. Just like, what's the sister? Serena Williams,
right.
This tennis player. She bleached her skin because she wants to get away from the stigma. What stigma? This is the color that God gave us. But you can see how this trauma turns our mind inside out. So Rodney King was struggling with that thing. And I imagine, because I don't have the absolute facts, I imagine that he said, you know what, that's it. I can't take no more. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there. Okay, when we watch the movie Them, this movie that's been out recently. Right. There's a part in there or a character. I forget the character's name. The blackface character.
The tap dance man.
Yeah. And he said, "What you gonna do?
All right.
What you gonna do?" That's what our conscience does to us every time we suffer a level of discrimination, when we get the disrespect, when our families get disrespected, when our women get disrespected. Here you walking down the street with your wife, and some white man put his hands all over her, and here you supposed to be the man. Then your conscience gonna be like, yo, what you gonna do? And after constantly hearing that voice, you'd be like, you want to tell the voice to shut up? Not really, because the voice is right. But you feel like you have no power to change it. So that duality is wrestling inside your head. You're conflicted in your life. And that's where the drugs come in. That's where the dope comes in. Because you need something to stop the voices. Many people go into the psychiatric units with these kinds of voices going on in their minds. I've seen many of them. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. So now, yeah, you wanted to, just for the people to see the character that I'm talking about when you watch, play it so you'll know what I'm talking about.
It's not fiction.
Yeah, this ain't fiction. This is what goes on in black people's minds every time we get disrespected. Huh? That duality. This is what I'm talking about. Hit it. That's his conscience. Go ahead. Let it play.
I was powerful thirsty, Mr. Henry. And now I can cogitate more proper like. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Now the question was about what was it? His wife was harassed.
Wife's
Wife.
What was name
disrespected.
right? There was so much that was going on that was in his mind. Supervisor jerked him out of a position, all that.
Right.
So all of these things was going on in his mind, and that's what his conscience beating him. Rodney King went through the same damn thing. That's the point I'm bringing out. Go ahead, let the rest of it play.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Thinking about it.
So you know it's intensified.
Right.
What you gonna do?
He's thinking about it. I'm supposed to be a man, damn it.
Yeah.
Let it play. This is what's going through his mind. I'm supposed to be the protector of my family. I can't take it no more.
Yeah. Well, watch the comment he made. Hopefully they show it.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Ooh, I seen that face before.
That's it.
And trouble come right behind.
Then
Yeah,
trouble
and
come
trouble
right
come right
behind
behind
it.
it. There you go.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's what's going on with our black men. Okay, and many of us, because we're struggling trying to find the solution to these problems, and we're going about it all the wrong way. Okay.
Bishop, just right
Yes,
quick,
sir.
too. Matter of fact, that part there, me and the officer, we were laughing about it. And we were saying, man, Bishop was doing that before that even come out, you know. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
They must have
Yeah.
they must have stole out from you.
Yeah.
I had posted some pictures. Y'all see those pictures?
Yeah.
They're just some pictures to kind of show you that. We talking about, you know, the incident with George Floyd, but I just want to show y'all, too. This is something that ain't just happened just with George Floyd. Just so y'all be
come on
mindful
with
of it.
Yes, sir.
This has been going as one particular video I couldn't find, but it goes way back in the 50s, in the 60s, where I literally saw a police put his knee on the neck of a woman, of a black woman. So
they do plenty of that.
Right. So this ain't nothing new. I just
Right,
want to make
right.
that clear.
No doubt
So
about it.
show them that image. I just want them to see a few images. Okay. There's one. Okay. You see with a police neck. So this is something that's practiced. Okay. Let's go to another one. Let's let them see the other one as we move on. Okay. So this ain't nothing new. All right. But now here's the point where the Most High is allowing this thing to be acknowledged, okay, through the situation. Now look, there's a woman there. That's a police. You see on the shoulder there. I know you barely look like maybe New Orleans, but you see the knee on the front of her neck, okay. Look like a taser right there in her stomach as well. You know,
that's a tactic of theirs. You know?
Exactly.
That's what they do.
Exactly. Now that should be one more, and I'm gonna give it right back to you, Bishop. Just wanted y'all to see this ain't, you know, something that's new. All right, here it come right here. Want y'all to see this. Even the military.
Yeah, zoom that in so they can see that thing.
Yep, even the military on the neck of a black man, okay? All right? Now, go back to that. There's one more I want you to show, the one of George Floyd again, with the police on the neck of George Floyd. So, you know, we see the one that the police looking right at the woman that was had the video camera on her phone, was videoing, but look at him now, where he literally got his knee on his neck and looking down at him like, you piece of scum.
Exactly.
You, whatever he could be saying.
Like we brought out what that man said, the best sex ever. When they finish doing something like this here, they go home and blaze the wife up because this is, they get off on this.
Yes.
Inhumane.
Yes.
Indifferent.
Yes.
Particular cruelty.
So I just want him to see that particular one because it ain't like he just had his knee on his neck and he looking away, not knowing what he's doing. Nah, he literally looked down and
confirm. I see you squiggling.
Yes,
you want to see him suffer.
I want to see you suffer.
Right. I want that to be shown.
It ain't no way that he don't see he dying.
Oh
No.
yes, of course.
No.
Not only that.
Bring it up, Bishop.
Exactly. Not only you 100% right. Not only that, but the people were telling him that he's dying. They're saying check his pulse. He knows all of this. Police they train in this stuff. They train in CPR. They know about when somebody's about to go out or not. They know that.
Right.
You
Right.
can look at his face and say
Right.
he ain't there.
Right. Just being on that artery, you think that artery that runs down the side of your neck, that's blood flow going.
He knew where to
that's
put it.
right, going
They know,
to your brain.
they know about what is known as positional asphyxia.
Exactly.
They know all about that stuff. They
Exactly.
know all about it.
He knew the correct place to put his knee to
But
kill
they would
his
not
man.
have done that. They would not have done that to Dylan Roof.
Oh Lord,
No way.
no, not until he ate his Whopper, and they still wouldn't have done it then.
They said no, because that would mess him up because his food ain't
Couldn't
digest
digest,
properly. They
right.
said wouldn't digest properly. So we don't want to mess that up. Might give him bowel problems.
Right. My.
Come on.
Particular cruelty. Third, there were children present during the crime.
That's the trauma,
And fourth, the
just like
act
Willie
was
Lynch.
committed with a group.
Hold
of
it.
at least
Committed crime as a group. That's where the other defendants are going to get caught up in this thing. That's where they're going to get caught up in it because they were part of it. Go ahead.
3 other people.
He just needs one, but having found 4 out of the 5 probably gives him more grounds for a greater sentence.
Yeah, you
but
heard that, right?
He only needs.
So hold it. You hear what she's saying? She's saying that there, in cases like this, there's normally, according to what they're saying, there's normally 5 aggravating factors that you can use to change the sentencing up. The judge have come back and said we got 4 of them, and this woman is saying you only need 1. So let's see what happens. Go ahead. Again, don't you Negroes get happy. Because like I said, on many occasions, they'll burn the hell out of 1 to put millions of you to sleep.
Right.
You still got a whole lot of cases that's going on right now that they ain't trying to deal with it on no justice level at all. Currently right now. Go ahead.
1 to justify a departure upward.
Back it up a
In the
little bit
ruling-
so they can hear the statement that you made. Yeah, go ahead from there.
Of at least 3 other people.
He just needs 1, but having found 4 out of the 5 probably gives him more grounds for a greater sentence. But he only needed to find 1 to justify a departure upward.
In the ruling, Cahill said, quote, the slow death of George Floyd occurring over approximately 6 minutes of his positional asphyxia was particularly cruel in that Mr. Floyd was begging for his life and obviously terrified by the knowledge that he was likely to die, but during which the defendant objectively remained indifferent to Mr. Floyd's pleas. End quote.
Stop. This is the white man saying this. Everybody on the side saw exactly what he's reading, what he said, but they experienced it and saw it happen in real time. The judge is looking at it after the fact. But imagine seeing what you actually reading there on actually was happening. Let's put that screen back up there again. Let's let that part marinate. The slow death. That's torture. That's terror. The slow death of George Floyd occurring over approximately 6 minutes from his positional asphyxia was particularly cruel, meaning that it is beyond the scope of human cruelty. This is particularly cruel, like animals.
Right.
Okay? In that Mr. Floyd was begging for his life. And Chauvin still remained to keep the pressure on him, although EMTs was telling him, the martial artist was telling him, George Floyd's friend was telling him, get off of him, check his pulse, he can't breathe, this and that, he's unresponsive, all those things while that 10-year-old girl saw that. Just think about all that terror that went down, okay? So it says that he was begging for his life and obviously terrified by the knowledge that he was likely to die. That's the part that I was making when I was talking about the scared stares of our sister being tied on that tree. When I mentioned the Willie Lynch situation where the woman was tied to a tree and a white maniac cut her stomach open and pulled the baby out. Okay, and it's and in the records it said that her scared stares, the scared stares of the people watching her, could not help her, and she could acknowledge that she was going to die simply by looking at the fear in their eyes. That's what George Floyd, that's what's being said here. That he was obviously terrified by the knowledge of knowing that he was likely to die. But during which the defendant, Derek Chauvin, objectively remained indifferent, meaning I don't give a damn. Because I'm going to get a hard on by killing you, and I'm going to go home and blaze the wife up. This is my aphrodisiac. Black death is America's fetish. Is a fetish to this country.
Wow.
And that's the point there. Indifferent to Mr. Floyd's pleas. Sir, please. I can't breathe.
You mind if I get a script?
Yes, sir.
Bishop?
Come on.
Let me get Habakkuk 2 and 4. Because you got to be an animal to just,
But we're going to talk about that. But go ahead and bring it in because we're getting ready to shift gears.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4.
Let me bring it out. Go ahead.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
Read that part again.
His soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
So the first thing the Most High said is he has a prideful soul. He's prideful. Read on. Read it from the top again.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up.
That pride is lifted up. Read on.
Is not upright in him.
And his soul ain't right. You mix those two together, a prideful soul and a soul that just don't care, a soul that just have hatred towards you, a soul that can have his knee on your neck and listen to you pleading for your life and not budge. That's a soul that's of the devil. Okay, only the Most High can make a evil soul like this. Read that from the top again.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
The Most High is telling us he ain't right. Okay, we thinking that we have. Our people think that they're gonna accept us in this land. Okay, the Most High put them against us. He put a demon over us. Okay, his soul ain't right. He ain't gonna never get right. No matter how much you try to love him, like Bishop, like he was bringing out Serena Williams.
You're right.
She look how far this man made. Look what he had. She been with this demon, and look what her mind has went.
Yeah.
Worse.
She don't even look at him.
Right. She done went way off to the left.
Yeah. Because why? His soul ain't right. They ain't gonna be right.
Right.
Okay. That's all I got.
Exactly. All praise to the Most High. That is correct. We're gonna have to deal with that sickness as well. Let's get back to where we was at. There's more in this. Play on.
Without these aggravating factors, Chauvin faced a sentence between 10 years, 8 months, and 15 years prison for second-degree murder. Now, with these factors, the judge can go up to the maximum 40 years. But legal experts say a max sentence is risky because it comes with potential appeal problems.
I think the judge would feel fairly safe in going up to a 30-year sentence for Chauvin. But if he goes over 30 years, then he's got to make some special findings, and there's all kinds of scrutiny that comes along with it.
Sentencing is scheduled for June 25th. So what's next? Both the state and the defense will submit memos to the court arguing the sentence that they want to see, and the judge will go from there. Also still looming is the federal case against Chauvin and 3 other former officers, a case that if convicted could carry a life sentence. Also some reaction today. Attorney General Keith Ellison thanked the court for agreeing on the aggravating factors, and Floyd family attorney Ben Crump applauded the judge for the decision. No comment from the defense. Lauren.
All right, Chris, thank you.
So is that it? That's it. So we can stop it there. Let's get back to me. So as you can see, people are actually more happy because of that one situation. And, so like I said, he's going to be the example. They're going to burn his behind with that thing because he was, like I said last week, they said the man was crying for his mama. They probably told him and said, listen, we can't cover this up. The man was crying for his mama. And you did it in front of kids. What the hell was wrong with you?
We can't do nothing for you.
We can't cover you. That's when the union walk out. Trust me, I know how that works. The union walk out. People be like, listen, you're on your own. We can't help you. So there you go. Boom. Hey, so like I said, now give me the other video. The other video that I wanted to start off with. That's right. We already got it set up. The reason why I'm bringing this out is because I want to draw back to the point that you made, Officer Eliakim, about Chauvin. Had he been a doctor, had he been an ice cream man, whatever, those same racist feelings and actions, the terror would have been in him regardless of what it is. So don't merely just look at a police educating medium all of the mediums in this society causes these people to think this way.
Don't forget about Ahmaud Arbery.
Exactly. And
Same
right
thing.
there you go. All of that.
That's what Elijah was saying.
Exactly. Totally indifferent there.
They made themselves the police.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So don't fall asleep, brothers and sisters. Don't fall asleep. Now, let's get this here. Let's let this rip. Listen to this one. Now we're coming off of from they're still dealing with the same situation. Now they're talking about reforming police policies as if that's the answer. Go ahead.
3 verdicts.
Professor Mays, you and I have talked about this before, but this is not an isolated incident in the state of Minnesota, in the county of Hennepin, in the city of Minneapolis. There are names that are that everybody just knows now, and Dante Wright's been added to it. What does this verdict mean to you, and what do you think the impact will be in your home state?
I think the verdict was just. I think it was correct. It was right. But here's the thing, Chuck. 6 black people lost their lives at the hands of police after the verdict. So what does that suggest?
See? That's why I said don't get too happy, brothers and sisters. Right after we can breathe, we can, all that exuberance and all that. 6 more people died after the verdict. Unjustly. That's the point that's being made there. So again, like I said, they looking to somewhat throw a soft book at Chauvin because they ain't really gonna get him the way they supposed to get him. You understand? And that's just one. Like that graph that I showed last week from 2005 to 2015. Was that the span? It was a 10-year span where no policemen were accused of murder in terms of these shootings and so forth. So, go ahead.
6 black people lost their lives at the hands of police after the verdict. So what does that suggest? We now hear that Merrick Garland and the DOJ will come in to do another investigation, but they did one in 2015 in January. And then tragically, we lost a young man named Jamar Clark. And then the DOJ came in and did another study about police accountability and police misconduct. And then we had the murder of George Floyd in 2020.
So, whoa, because people might not be picking up on what he's saying. He's saying after you have a high-profile situation, the DOJ, the Department of Justice, comes in, moves some things around, and then, boom, you got another killing. Then some time pass, the DOJ come back in again, boom, another killing. So, in other words, nothing's changing. That's the point that he's making. Listen to what he's saying. Go ahead.
Now the DOJ is coming back again. And so the beat goes on, Chuck. I think we can celebrate the verdict in the Chauvin trial, but the question must be asked, will police behavior really change? And since that verdict, which was rendered on Tuesday, all the evidence says that nothing has changed. And so we definitely have to pass the George Floyd.
Stop. The day to go again, talking about passing the George Floyd situation. And then even though the brother said some great points, he still focused it on the police. He said will this change? Right. Will this change police reform? As if that's where the whole crux is. No. So go on, because there's more in here. Listen.
Justice and Policing Act to begin to deal with this issue on a systematic level.
I want to talk about the systemic.
Hold it. Yeah, right. Systematic level. The police department is not the whole system. The police department is just one peg out of many pegs that make up the entire system. Go ahead. Like I said before, this is one of those cases where you got to get to the root of it all. You got to get to the cause of it all. Go ahead.
Commissioner Harrison, here's what Trevor Noah said.
Here we go.
And he was it was a different play on the bad apple metaphor. Take a listen.
The system in policing is doing exactly what it's meant to do in America. I feel like you get to a place where you go, oh, we're not dealing with bad apples. We're dealing with a rotten tree.
Pause it. He said, you're not dealing with bad apples. Because everyone's focusing on a Derek Chauvin here. What's these guys in New York? The Volpe, the different cops that be doing different things, those are quote unquote the bad apples. But people are thinking that it's a good tree that just happened to have bad apples. Trevor is saying something totally different. Back it up and get his whole statement, because they're gonna misquote, in my view, they're gonna misquote what he just said for political reasons. I'll leave it at that way. Go ahead, listen.
It was a different play on the bad apple metaphor. Take a listen.
The system in policing is doing exactly what it's meant to do in America. I feel like you get to a place where you go, oh, we're not dealing with bad apples. We're dealing with a rotten tree that happens to grow good apples.
So the focus, pause it. So the focus should not be on the bad apples. That's what Trevor's saying. You're busy focusing on the bad apples. Trevor is saying, forget about the fruit that the rotten tree bears. You got to look at the tree itself. Right. He's trying to direct the attention to the tree.
Bishop, can I read that?
Yes, sir. Come on.
Luke chapter 6, verse 43.
Oh, yeah, you know what it is. Come on with it.
For a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit.
Read that again. Tell them where you at.
I'm in Luke chapter 6, verse 43. For a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither doth a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. For every tree is known by his own fruits.
For every tree is known by the rotten apples. So if you got rotten apples, a few bad apples, you got to look at the tree that bore the apples. And the tree is what we want to talk about now, not just the branch. The tree has many branches. One of the branches is the police department, but the branch does not come anywhere. The branch does not bring the tree. The tree brings the branches. So now you got to look at the tree. You have to look at the soil that the tree was planted in. You got to look at all of that, and that's what's going to determine what kind of fruit is going to be born from this tree. Okay, play.
Commissioner Harrison, do you understand where Trevor Noah was coming from?
I didn't hear that, but hearing it now, I do understand what that means. And that's why Baltimore Police Department, like my former department in New Orleans, is under a federal consent decree, and we are essentially in a complete makeover of a department.
Stop. He just took what Trevor Noah said and boiled it all the way down to a quote-unquote police matter and said that we are looking to reform all this police stuff. How in the world could you reform? I'm just going to jump the gun because sometimes these slick words get past people. How in the world could you quote-unquote reform a police department to be the way you would expect it to be, and the rest of the tree is still rotten? That's not going to work. It simply won't work. Just like I made the point about the engine, the different parts of the engine work together for the operation of the entire motor. You can't talk about changing the pistons and turn it into something. Right. The engine ain't gonna work.
You got to chop the whole tree down.
You got to tear the whole engine down and do. That's the point. That's what Trevor was saying without saying it. Okay, get this man again, Michael Harrison. Go ahead.
Understand what that means. And that's why Baltimore Police Department, like my former department in New Orleans, is under a federal consent decree, and we are essentially in a complete makeover of a department. Of a
department. Here you have a store. Let's lay it out. Here you have a store. You have the human resources. You have the security or the police. I'm talking about within the store. You have the salesmen. You have the stock people. You got all of the different components that work together. You got the people to bring the groceries in and stuff like. So you got so many segments that operate within this to make the supermarket be the supermarket. But if you have a thief, you just can't reform. If you have somebody in there that if you want to just turn things around, I'm trying to make the point. If you take one part of it and twist it, it's going to affect the entire supermarket. You can't just isolate and say that it's only this. All of it works in a system in order for the supermarket to work. Okay, so you just can't, quote unquote, reform the police department and not deal with the rest of the educating mediums of the society. I'm gonna make it super clear. I was trying to give the analogy of the store. I don't think I made a good analogy with that, but I've given analogies on that in the past, but I didn't come up with the right one just now. But when I'm done with this here, you're going to understand exactly what I mean when I say that you just cannot take a quote unquote police department and say that, oh, we making reforms, we're making changes, as if that's going to alleviate all of this injustice and evil and all
the
of that.
department.
Exactly, in the department. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Play on. Did I have a timestamp for this? Yes, sir. Okay, go ahead.
That's why I believe the Justice Department will, in its investigation, probably find patterns and practices of unconstitutional policing, and it's very likely Minneapolis will be in a consent decree as well. Now, in our makeover, it is because the system was bad. Everything from recruitment to hiring to training to policies to practice and protocols, supervision, technology, all of it. And here's what happens with good.
He said a whole lot. He said hiring. He mentioned so many different segments that he said that have something to do with the corruptness that's going on there. Well, where did they learn all of this at? You talking about IT? You talking about hiring practices, HRA? These people don't carry guns or walk the street arresting people or whatever. These people are sitting in air-conditioned offices pushing papers around who to hire, who to promote, this and that. Everybody got a problem. So it's not, quote unquote, the police department per se. And if you're talking about it just on that level, that goes pervasive throughout the whole society. I know I'm kind of being redundant in this, but I'm about to make my point super clear. Go ahead.
Bishop, if you take an area of a river and you clean it up, you can clean it up, but if it's upstream still having sewage dumped into it, it's going to get right. Let's say they did
You just helped me out. See, I couldn't get it right. So you just gave me what I needed. Come on with it. That's what I was trying to say.
Let's say they did fix it. Everything upstream of it is going to mess it right back up the following day.
Exactly. Is that it on this? Go.
Apples. And I think Trevor was talking about where are the good apples. We have to have peer interventions. We have a peer intervention program in Baltimore, as we did in New Orleans, where we teach officers how to step in front of their colleagues when a bad act is about to happen. And what we need is for more good officers to step up without being retaliated against and without...
The fact that these police will be retaliated against is that garbage that's upstream that's going to come down to mess these quote-unquote good apples up. That's the point that you was making there. So it's not going to work. The whole stuff, Babylon got to be destroyed.
Right.
That's the only way this thing going to fix.
Right.
Other than that, all of this, it don't mean nothing. Now, I will say this here because I made the point before. You know, any quote-unquote measure of justice, because I know somebody might be saying, well, damn, you know, what do they want? Like I said before, any measure of justice for that family, for George Floyd family, for anybody that we get, we gladly take it. All praises to the Most High, because any little bit of fresh air, that, you know, any breath of justice, we'll take it. Our people will take it. You know, so that's not, I'm not somebody, well, what do you want us to do? Take it. Protest. Do what you got to do. Take it. Get, you know, whatever relief that we can get, all praises. You understand? But that is not going to fix our problem. And that's the point that I'm making. That's not going to fix our problem. In other words, don't stop there. You got to come to the scriptures. You got to come to the scriptures. Understand the reason why all of this is happening. Repent, and the Most High will bless us and get us the hell out of here. That's what we have to do. All right? So is there more on that?
About 20 seconds.
Go. Let it play out.
Without being punished for having stepped up to do the right thing to prevent those bad things from happening. And that's what we've been advocating for, and that's what every department should be looking at. There's a wonderful program called ABLE, Active Bystandership for Law Enforcement, taught at Georgetown University, where many departments are moving in that direction.
Okay, now I'm going to jump all into it. Because you made the point, I'm making a point about what you said about Chauvin. Had he been a doctor, had he been a teacher, had he been this and that, the situation, his racism and his terrorism would have came out regardless. It would have came out in another form, but it would have still come out. And the reason for that is because the incubator that these people are made in, The incubator that these people are made in causes them to be the way they are. Because it's in them. It's in them. I'm not saying that they were influenced by some alien force. They themselves are evil. Let's get that. Give me Psalms. God need to set the tone. Psalms 58. Psalms 58. This is what the problem is. 58, verse 3.
The book of Psalms, chapter 58, verse 3.
This is the first thing we have to understand and not fall asleep on. Come on.
The wicked are estranged from the womb.
Give me Job 9:24. This is what we have to understand.
The book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The Most High said that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So the earth is being controlled by a wicked people. Go ahead.
He covered the faces of the judges.
He got rid of all of the judges, the Native American Indians, all the judges, the Israelites. He covered them all up. Okay? That's what this wicked man did. Okay? When you read the book of Malachi, it tells you that this wicked man is Edom. Is Esau. That's who it's talking about. So he's the wicked that the Bible's talking about. He is the beginning of all wickedness. So you can't change him. Go ahead.
Right. If not, where and who is he?
Who is the wicked if the Most High is wrong? Who is the wicked? Give me Malachi 1 and 4.
So he covering the faces and,
right.
and putting knees on necks and everything.
Exactly. That's right. Definitely. Covered up the face of the angels.
Lord,
put leprosy on them. Got you thinking that the angels are white folks. Got you thinking that Christ and the Israelites are white folks. Lies.
Right.
Read.
Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished. But
Edom is the so-called white man. They're scholars, they're biblical scholars. They know this already. Go ahead.
But we will return and build the desolate places.
Out of the Renaissance, they came back and set up America on stolen property and murdered Gad and covered the faces of the judges, literally. Read.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build
up America, build up their justice system, build up their educational system, build all their systems up. Listen to what God said.
But I will throw down.
But God said, I'm going to destroy in thermonuclear destruction. Go ahead.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
And the people all over the earth, they're going to say, woe unto him that increaseth that which is not his. That's in the book of Habakkuk. So what they shall call them what?
The border of wickedness.
They are the people where wickedness begins. That's the reason why it says what it says in the Apocrypha. When it talked about Alexander and his cohorts and his 4 generals, it says, and when they all put crowns upon themselves after Alexander died, and it said, and they ruled after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. That's the precept right there. And evils were multiplied when these people started ruling. So that's what we're reading here. Read that again.
The border of wickedness.
They are the beginning of wickedness.
And the people against whom.
And the who?
And the people.
And the who?
The people.
So the whole race. The people.
Against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
God says he has indignation against the people of Edom, all of them. That's God speaking.
All his descendants.
All his descendants. That's the justice that we're looking for. So don't be happy about what's getting ready to happen to Derek Chauvin. That ain't nothing but just a play on you Negroes' emotions.
Right.
But like I said, take the little bit of whatever they give us, take it. Fine, you know. But still, that's not going to get them out of the judgment from the Most High. We just read it. Now go to Psalms. I'm not done yet. Psalms 58. Let's get that thing.
Psalms chapter 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
The wicked are estranged. Estranged meaning estranged meaning off the path of righteousness. Estranged meaning different. Estranged meaning outside of the parameters of righteousness. Estranged. Go ahead. Where do they become estranged? Where do they become killers?
The wicked are estranged from the womb.
They were born wicked. That's what the Most High is saying. They're natural born killers. That's what the Most High is telling you right there out of that Bible. Read.
They go astray as soon as they be born.
The minute they come out, they're criminals. The minute they come out, wow, they lying.
Bishop, in my Bible says, as soon, it says, from the belly.
From the belly, yeah. Rosemary's Baby, right?
Right. Baby. Wicked from the womb.
That demon in the womb before it come out. Okay.
I already put a wicked spirit in
soon as they be born, what? Read that again.
They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Read on. There's some more in there.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
That's what happened to Serena Williams. Listening to this Edomite, that philosophy made her change her whole body up. She looked horrible now. I can't even equate to what she looks like now. She looks scary. She looked like a horror movie. I ain't trying to speak bad about the sister, but she's going, man.
She was
a beautiful sister.
Right, and we expected her to be a role model for our sisters.
Damn, Lord have mercy. But that's what the philosophy of these people would do. There's like worm tongue get inside your head and cause you to hate, just like on them. You'd be just like that girl on them, putting white paint on her.
Right.
Exactly. That's exactly the same point.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Bishop, I'm thinking again. You showed that eugenics tree. You know,
I'm coming to that.
You know, and just seeing that, you know, you talking about where, you know, you say the Lord, He gonna tear down. You know what I'm saying? What they build up, they don't build that eugenics tree. The Most High gonna burn that eugenics tree down. You see? And we talking about the fruit that was on that tree. And I'm thinking about the even Billie Holiday used to sing "Strange Fruit."
Right,
you know,
right.
We the fruit that's hanging from the tree, but don't look at the fruit. Okay, look what the tree that's bearing the daggone. You know, bringing forth the fruit.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
I just want to make that point.
Right. Exactly. Right. The attributes of the tree of eugenics end up causing us to be on the the strange fruit that was hanging on them trees that my sister Billie Holiday sang about.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So when we come back, we're gonna get deeper into what made Derek Chauvin the kind of man he is, because everybody's just focusing on Derek Chauvin, thinking that that's the only knee of trauma. Like I said, our program is the traumatizing knees of pressure, not just one knee. The whole system is a knee upon us, and we're going to show you that when we come right back. Brothers and sisters, stay tuned. We got more for you.
Oh, praises.
Start there. And I think a lot of people out there, like me, are very interested in this conversation and this topic, because everybody's got their own opinions, right? Right. And everybody's starting their own movements, right? And some people start with their depictions of who he actually is, and some people got him up. We can talk about it later on.
Chow Pao, that was his name. Chow Pao, cool guy. He said he's a mixed breed. Not too sure about his ancestry too much, and that's why Christ told us to avoid endless genealogies. You're going to meet those men and women who are of quote-unquote heavy mixing of this one from that one, this from this one, and they're not going to be certain about who their fathers are. So, but if they believe, let them come. So, anyway, back to the subject. Chow Pao. He said on the radio show that he has, he's one of those type of men, brothers, that like to challenge. But on the show, when we dropped the gospel, he said it took him off guard because he never heard it.
Well, let me hear, of course, from you, Bishop, the true description of Christ.
Well, I'll preface it by saying all the depictions of Christ worldwide are all false. When you go to churches, various churches, and you see the various depictions of Christ, if you ask the minister, what verse can I read this description, there's never an answer. You just accept it, okay? Read that for us.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revelation of Jesus Christ. The revealing of Jesus Christ. Jump to verse 11 for time's sake.
Verse 11, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what thou seest, write in a book.
So the first thing we want to look at, Christ is telling John the Apostle, what you see, write it in a book.
His head and his hairs.
Now he's going to describe the head of Christ. The hair in his head and the hair in his face.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Wool is a texture. That's number one. Wool is a texture. When you look up the word wool in Old Bible Dictionary, it says hair of Negroes. That's what it says.
Back to Revelation chapter 1 and verse 15.
Now here it comes.
And his feet.
Now he looks at the feet of Christ.
Like unto fine brass.
Brass is brown. That's number one. A very light brown. Go ahead.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Now you take that brown brass and you burn it. What happens? It turns black. You mean to tell me these Christian scholars never read that? Or they've read it? They chose not to teach the slaves that. They said if we teach them that Christ looks like them, they might actually unite and overthrow us. We got to keep them at the bottom of society. They must stay oppressed and hate each other. And they've done an excellent job, I do say. So the Bible describes Jesus Christ.
For our people and for the sanctuary. We're fighting for the hearts and minds of our people that do not yet know who they are. But we are their champions. We are their superheroes, so to speak. Believe that. We're serious. Ain't no laughter. We ain't got time for shucking and jiving. We got issues going on with the nation of Israel. Our young men are so starved for leaders. And the mother recognizes that we have no stars, that we have no leaders, that we have no superheroes. And because of that absence of an image, all kinds of psychological destruction has permeated the brains of our people.
To be honest with you, pay attention. Sons of God!
Yeah. Us against the world, want what we deserve. War against our soul, it's a God we serve. Yeah. Us against the world, us against the world. Working for thy kingdom come, no time to observe. Us against the world, dragging rock we heard. Ain't no stopping in, 7,000 no reserve. Yeah. Us against the world, us against the world. Us against the world, us against the world.
Us against the world, overcoming all the odds. We go for the gusto. A salute to the God and the captain of the host, the angels cut through.
All right, shalom, brothers. We're back. We are back again, and we're going to continue on. We were talking about there were several points that was made. They had the police chief that said that we, meaning him and his staff, was going to be advocates for the changing of police policy, and they're trying to push for the George Floyd bill to ban chokeholds, and there's different things that they have in the bill that they're trying to push through. And the narrative is to say that that this is going to alleviate the problems of what black people are going through. But there was something that was said during the break. We were talking about the title, "The Traumatizing Knees of Pressure." What's my man Kaepernick?
Colin Kaepernick.
He took a knee, and they tried to put total knees on him to destroy his whole career.
Right.
And his reason for taking a knee, we didn't take nobody's life. He ain't had a knee on nobody. Right. He just said that I'm not gonna pledge allegiance to this flag because this flag is standing. It's like I said before. The way we look at the flag is different from the way Americans look at the flag. When we look at the flag has red, white, and blue, and it got stars in it, right? When white folks look at it, it means liberty and all the rest of that. Perhaps when we look at it, the red is for the blood that we shed when our heads was being beat in and squeezed to death. The stars is for the stars that we saw when our heads got banged in, but with Rodney King, he saw plenty of stars. The blues is for the blues that we've been singing for all these years that been in this country and still ain't got no justice yet. And the white is for the obvious. So ain't no black in that damn flag. But if we look at the flag different from you, now you call us racist and all that. But this is the reality that we face. So when Kaepernick tried to make the point that said, listen, that flag don't represent what it should represent because my people are dying in the streets. So I can't pledge allegiance to that. So I'm going to take a knee. When he did that, they damn near tried to destroy that brother.
And he haven't played since.
Damn.
And you had the president coming up against him.
Exactly.
He's all them that taking the knee.
You see that?
You had the presidents of the country that was going against him.
Right.
He was protesting the police brutality, but when did he do it?
Right.
During the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of America, because America is the reason that the police department can be the way that it is.
Exactly.
He was kneeling against the tree, not the branch.
Exactly. All praise to the Most High. So now, so like we were talking about, there's many different factions in this society that lends to the mentality. But we didn't finish Psalms yet. Let's get back to that Psalms. I need more in there. Because we was talking about his poison, the poison of the wicked. That's what happened to our sister Serena Williams.
Verse 4.
Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 58, verse 4. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder.
They are like the deaf adder. This is what Serena didn't realize. They're like the deaf adder. Deaf adder is a snake. And saying that it's deaf, it's not hearing you. So no matter how much loving you try to give them, you black women trying to give loving to the snake, it's not going to happen. It's not going to change him. You're going to change. The scriptures tell you that. Don't lay down with these people. Don't be in them because they will turn your heart away from the Most High. That's what the Bible says in Deuteronomy. Okay? Read that statement again.
They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear.
They stop their ears up when you're trying to bring them scriptures. Yeah, you're trying to make them into righteous people when they were born crooked. From the womb they were estranged, and you can't straighten them out. You cannot charm the snake. Read that statement.
They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear.
Go ahead.
Which will not hearken to the voice of charmers.
They will not hearken. They mean they won't listen to the Bible. That's what the charmers is, the Bible. They will not hearken to the voice of charmers. Here you trying to charm the snake, and it's not listening to you. It's going to bite you. And you know what it's going to say after it bites you. You knew I was a snake. You know what I want to say before that, right? But because that's in the records. You know
bring it up.
And I ain't gonna say it. Because they're gonna get mad at me. But a snake did not say some kind words.
Right.
So you looking at me like, you know, what the hell's wrong with you? Didn't you know I was a snake?
Right.
You know, you wonder why I'm dealing with you like that. Okay, so
that's crazy. I'm sitting here thinking about how she been dealing with the devil. Okay, if she decides to leave him or he leaves her, she can't get her color back.
No, that's gone.
That's heavy.
Well, first the color in the mind goes first.
Yeah, the mind's already
the mind
gone.
is already gone. So if you put the color back, the
mind is gone.
The motor is all messed up.
Right. What's in the spirit don't manifest it in the flesh.
Should never get a color back.
No, it's gone.
Wow,
that's gone. You know, and that's the danger of crossing over.
What'd you say? As the mind thinking, so is he.
Yeah. That mind is gone. You know, sad case. Okay, give me my tree now. Let's get this thing in here. This is the issue right here. Many things that we talked about. We're talking about Derek Chauvin. Look at the part of the tree that says law. Okay, you see politics, genetics, history, mental testing. All of these are the roots that feed this tree. Okay, this tree is talking about the American way. It says, like a tree, I'm reading the bottom of it. Like a tree, eugenics draws its materials from many sources and organizes them into a harmonious entity. So don't just zero in on the quote-unquote police department. Don't just zero in on Derek Chauvin per se, because Derek Chauvin is just one part of the root, is one part of the problem. But all of them work together as a well-functioning engine, as a well-oiled machine. In deception, in evil, in exploitation, robbery, they all work together to make that engine work perfectly. So don't think that you can change one or reform, quote unquote, reform one part of the tree and the rest of the tree is rotten. That's what Trevor Noah was saying. Trevor Noah was saying that the so-called bad apples is not what you just would be looking at. You got to look at the whole rotten tree that brings forth the apples. And that's what we want to talk about now. Let's look at, let's see, where's education at? That's where I want to go now. I see psychiatry. Okay, there's education right there. See that? So part of the sustenance of this country derives from education. We already talked about law. Let's see, history. They lied about history. Religion is in there somewhere. You got economics. All of these things work together to keep the racist system of America going. But I want to talk about education because we talked about how what's the name? Chauvin. Rather he would have been an ice cream man, rather he'd have been a scientist, garbage man, whatever. He'd probably pick the garbage up from your house and throw it back on your lawn. Then call you nigga if you say something.
Yeah.
You understand? So the mindset, it doesn't matter where they work. It's inbred in them, and that's what we're gonna show you now. We're gonna show you that thing. Let's move away from this. Let them see that again. Let them see the good eyeball of that tree there. Eugenics is the self-direction. In other words, the word eugenics means good genes. In other words, they use these different roots to kill the good genes of us and to accelerate white folks. That's all this is saying. Good. That's what eugenics mean. The word gene is connected in that because it's talking about bringing forth more serpents, like we were just reading out of Psalms. Okay, that's what it's about, and it's to kill off anything about righteousness, to kill off Israel, to kill off the truth. They're put on a facade like they are about the truth. Oh, we believe in the Bible, we believe in justice, but don't be fooled, brothers and sisters. This whole system is wicked as hell. Okay, and you better learn that sooner than later. So now, let's get into how Derek Chauvin, because he's not just he's not by himself. You got all of this society think the same way. We're gonna go into the roots on how things gotten to where they've gotten. Let's get my book. What was my next picture that I had up there? Let's put it up there. Let's see it right there. Show that to him. I want y'all to see this here. This was a book that was written by this brother named Jawanza Kunjufu. And the name of this book is called Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. And he makes the point in this book that the focus is centered on black boys because black boys, it's easy to kill the race when you're dealing with them as a boy as opposed to waiting till he becomes a man. In other words, George Floyd is out of the way now, but it's to kill him off, you got to lie, you got to do all kinds of things. But if you can systematically kill him as a boy, it's more subtle. It's more subtle, and most people won't even notice it. To kill him as a male, it's high profile. So it's easier to destroy them when they're boys, and that's what this man brings out in this book here. So again, countering these are his methods about how to counter the conspiracy to destroy black boys. The countering it comes out of the Bible, by the way. But I want you to focus. I want to bring your attention to one of the great errors of where this destruction actually happens. Okay, give me my next page. Eliakim, I'm gonna have you read this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this now, when your sons go to the schools, you black women, you black men, when your sons go to school, as soon as they enter into the school system, they're full of exuberance. They're full of ingenuity. Walking geniuses, many of our sons, many of our daughters. Brilliant brainiacs. And soon as they get into what is known, categorized as the fourth grade syndrome, something happens. And the seeds of doubt begins to seep in. The seeds of apathy sets in. All kind of things sets in. So the question is, what happened? Let's start reading. Because it's easier to kill off many George Floyds, many prophets, many engineers, many doctors, you can kill off a lot of them if you can destroy them as boys, rather than waiting till they become grown. So that's the reason why the attention was focused on black boys in particular. Black and Hispanics. Read.
Chapter 2, fourth grade failure syndrome.
The fourth grade failure syndrome. They actually coined that. Identified where the problem began. Go ahead.
Since 1974, I have been a national consultant to public and private schools.
This is the doctor, Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu. This is him speaking about this is his workshop that he did around the country in the educational system. Read.
Ranging from preschool through college, my responsibilities are to conduct workshops for teachers and parents and to provide cultural assembly programs for children.
Go ahead.
It was during my travels that I recognized the conspiracy.
It was during my travels when I recognized that there was a conspiracy to destroy the black boys. He recognized it. In other words, he was seeing it in the neighborhood, but he had to find out what is the genesis of this. So he began to pinpoint where this destruction was happening. Read.
Often so subtle, mentioned previously.
Often so subtle. This is the reason why millions, just think about our men that graduate. The majority of our people don't graduate. They end up going into the streets and into a life of crime, get locked up, and then become slaves for the state. That is by design. Go ahead.
Let me first begin with the innocence of black boys who bring enthusiasm to the classroom.
This is what I was talking about when we first come in. Go ahead.
Trust their teachers and are willing to please. Daryl, who just turned 5, has just completed 2 years of Head Start.
Go ahead.
His mother informed me that Daryl's only major regret about Head Start is that it lasts only 3 hours per day.
So they try to say that our kids don't like to learn. Our kids are not academically on a scholastic level and all that. Like we don't like analytics. We don't like numbers and math and stuff like that. They feed us that garbage to make us believe that we are adverse to learning. Talking about they can't learn, ADHD and all those stigmas to destroy the aspirations of your young, bright, genius children. Read that again.
Daryl, who just turned 5, has just completed 2 years of Head Start.
Go ahead.
His mother informed me that Daryl's only major regret about Head Start is that it lasts only 3 hours per day.
Go ahead.
But now, Daryl could not wait to see his new teacher, Miss Ford.
Mm-hmm.
She smiled at him often and helped him with his shoelaces. I guess the only regret he had about Miss Ford was that she insisted he eat his broccoli.
Mm-hmm. Because they would in school they would feed the children. I remember these things. Go ahead.
Which was not Daryl's favorite food.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl loved his classmates and enjoyed singing songs, playing in the sand, and listening to stories.
And listening to stories. There's you talking about analytics there. Okay, go ahead.
Once his classmate Richard was sad about an incident at home.
I want y'all to pay attention to this here. What grade is Daryl in at this point? He's in the first grade. What did it say? Around the first or second grade. Once his classmate what?
Once his classmate Richard was sad about an incident at home.
Listen to this now. Go ahead.
And Daryl was quick to provide instant cheer.
So they try to say that we have this, don't look at me, don't touch me. We learned that BS. But look at this here. We see our brother, he's noticing that his own brother looks like he's got some kind of problem, so he goes to him. He goes to the brother, and he tries to work with him to build him up. Go ahead.
Daryl was an eager student. Miss Ford commented, he asked so many questions.
He asked so many questions. He's enthusiastic. He loves learning. He's inquisitive about everything. That's the way our sons are. You mothers, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Go ahead.
He loved the alphabet and numbers as much as he loved
He
playing.
loves numbers and alphabet? What? We know how we love to read? We love mathematics? Go ahead.
He loved the alphabet and numbers as much as he loved playing with dump trucks in the sand.
Go ahead.
Daryl enters the primary division of the neighborhood public school.
Oh, here we come now.
Many important and tender moments occur in these formative years of kindergarten through 3rd grade.
This is known as the killing field. Go ahead.
Daryl still sings, but not as loudly and with less enthusiasm.
What happened here? He's losing his enthusiasm. There's something happening in the classroom, and it's something that is called teacher expectation. Remember the thing with Malcolm? When the teacher, because the teacher asked Malcolm, what did you want to be when he grow up? And he said he wanted to be a lawyer. Right. What did that white teacher say to him? That's a perfect example of what happened to Daryl. Just killed his aspirations right there. And that's what happens to your sons. That's what happens to mainly our sons, because if you kill the son, you kill the man and you kill the nation. Our enemies understood that. They'll let the sisters grow up and then hope to do to them what they did to Serena Williams. Because once they take her mind, she's gone. So they said once the man is out of the way, the woman is spoiled.
Bishop.
Yeah.
They knew that instead of attacking the branch of a grown black man that's already bearing fruit,
exactly,
they had to attack his root.
Exactly. That's the whole point there. That's the whole point. So you see that. Read. It says the alphabet and numbers still interest him, but now the dump truck, his bicycle, and his football are now his most important possessions. Why? Because we are inculcated to worship our dump trucks and to worship basketball and things of that nature, and be more or less inclined to deal with analytics, numbers, and things of that nature. That's by design. That's by design. So while they're doing this, give me my next picture. Because this is what happens to our children. Give me my next picture. Let's go. I'm going to mess you up now. Get the yes, that's right there. This is why they referred to Rodney King as a lizard, as gorilla in the midst. This is the reason why Derek Chauvin dealt with that brother like that, because this is how he saw him. So this ain't got nothing to do with the police department. This is education that we're looking at. Education. This is in books. This was in books. Our teachers taught us this. They taught us about a white Christ, and then at the same time they spraying water hoses on us.
Right.
When we were little, we saw stuff like this here.
I'm glad you said that too, Bishop, because I was just getting ready to say that the books that when we used to go to the library to check out books, they didn't have nothing to do with us.
No.
We didn't see ourselves.
No.
And if we saw anything, it was always a negative connotation.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And that's the point here. For them to say this here, look at this here. They compared us to an ape and say that they said scientists. So Derek Chauvin could have been here. This is the Derek Chauvin in the science department of America. Look like it's some real science, right? Science say Negro still in ape stage. Races positively not equal. This is why Serena Williams said, I need to be equal. Let me get rid of this brown so I can be equal to you.
Right. Look like her,
Look
like her husband.
This is the damage that has happened throughout the educational system. So don't just look at the quote unquote police department and talk about the bad apples there. The whole damn tree is rotten.
Right.
That's the point. To produce this kind of thinking, and we walk around with this kind of mess in our heads. Look at this at white Christian civilization. What the hell are they talking about?
Wow.
Go back up. Short legs, like we don't have long legs.
But these are these cruel images that our children will see, and they will begin to doubt their own greatness.
But that's the point.
And
of
that's
it.
the point of it.
That's the point of it. To kill your self-esteem.
Exactly.
To think you're inferior. To
Exactly.
them.
I'm glad you mentioned self-esteem, because that's exactly what this gets into. Okay, we can take that off this. Did you show this to them? Because I'm looking at it. Did the people see it? The people saw it? Okay.
What's that? Syphilis carrier.
Yeah.
What is this?
Let the people see that thing again. Let them see that thing. 'Cause I know they don't. I know this hurts. I understand it. But this is how our sons. This is what we were taught. This is what our children. This is what our fathers were taught.
Right.
We were made to think on these kinds of levels, to the point where we can't even believe that we can work together. Okay, you can bring it back on me.
Yeah, this stuff was on the plantation.
Right, exactly.
Beating in our heads.
We feel like we can't even work together among ourselves because we think that we are inferior because of this kind of evil teaching that we've learned in this system, in this whole rotten system. All aspects of this system taught us to think like this. Now, let me show you how far it goes. Give me my next book, Joy DeGruy. Let's get on into it now. Post-trauma. There go those knees again. Now we're talking about the various needs. So you got a need of law enforcement, a need of education, a need of religion. All of these needs are on us. And I'm going to show you what these needs lead to. Okay? Dr. Joy DeGruy, Be the Healing. This is what this is her book. Post-traumatic slave syndrome. So this is basically trauma that has come after the slavery. After we have been, quote unquote, emancipated, there is a post or an after trauma that still rests on us. And that trauma is on us. It's a syndrome. It's a traumatic syndrome that we live in. We carry a slave syndrome with us to this day, where I'm going to bleach my skin that God gave me. That's some serious mental damage there. Let's go inside the book. We're going to talk about something that's called vacant esteem. Give me hold it, back up. Yes, sir. Let me see. Start from the top highlighted part.
Yes, sir. This is
zoom
post-traumatic
in, bring it
slave
up. Let's
syndrome.
fill up the screen.
Page 126.
Yes, sir.
Society contributes to the formation of vacant esteem.
So let's get an understanding of what vacant esteem is. We know vacant means absent, and esteem is a feeling within yourself of value.
Right.
When you esteem yourself, you're giving value to yourselves. Well, if you're saying that your value is empty, that is your esteem is vacant. So this is an actual psychiatry definition here. Read.
Society contributes to the formation of vacant esteem.
Hold it. She didn't say the police department. She says society contributes to the formation or the creation or the whole eugenics tree, like Trevor Noah was saying. The whole tree is rotten. Society, all of its institutions contribute to the formation of vacant esteem in a number of ways, not just the police. Go ahead.
In a number of ways.
Go ahead.
Through its law.
That's one of the tree of eugenics. The law system, the legal system. Go ahead.
Institutions,
schools,
and policies.
Government.
As well as
you're talking about like 10 or 12 different factions that falls up underneath institutions. You got banking institutions, economics. You have what other institutions? Come on, brothers, help me out. Other institutions,
schools, universities.
All of these things contribute to our vacant esteem. Television, cosmetics, all of that. The magazines, all of these things. Go ahead.
As well as through the media.
Go ahead.
African Americans have been and continue to be disproportionately represented in our penal institutions.
In other words, we make up a very small portion of the population in this country, but yet we are vastly overrepresented in the penal criminal system. Okay, there's millions of us, unproportionately to our number in this country, that fill the prisons. All that's by design. That's what I was reading about in terms of the educational system and all of the different mediums by which we learn and see ourselves, religion, all of it. It contributes to our being overrepresented in the penal institutions, prisons. Go ahead, read.
African Americans often live in neighborhoods where schools are functionally segregated and lack adequate revenue to sustain them.
We did a video a long time ago in New York, Bishop and I. We did a well, all of us, all the deacons were there. It's called "The Educational System is an Academic Holocaust." Go check that video out. We look younger, we had no grades, so we look a lot younger, but that was a very informative video. And it talked about this sister that wanted to be a librarian. And her access to a library was an old rinky-dink piece of garbage. And she ain't going to be no librarian by learning from that kind of thing, because the schools would because the point is said that they are functionally segregated. Meaning that they don't have the things that the white schools have.
The sources. And
the resources and all that. And that's what that video that I just told y'all to go check it out. Check it out. Don't just sit here and be like,
Mention
yeah,
again,
Bishop.
Bishop.
Watch the class. Watch that video. It's called the what did I say? The educational system is an academic holocaust. Look it up on YouTube. Okay? Read.
African Americans often live in neighborhoods where schools are functionally segregated and lack adequate revenue to sustain them. In African American communities, banks charge higher interest rates on home and auto loans.
They still do this. I actually worked with a guy.
Yeah.
And we've seen some documents recently, but I actually worked with a guy many years ago. And he because he worked in the bank, and he said that when black people come in for a home loan, it's automatic that they give them 1 point higher on the interest rate. This is what he said. And he said when the white folks come in, they automatically give it 1 point lower, their APRs. Just off the rip, before they even talk about anything, it's a rule. That's what he said. Go ahead. Read.
As well as make it more difficult for African Americans to get small business loans.
Go ahead.
The media
that's part of the eugenics tree again. All of this contributes. These are the needs that's on us. Why am I going through all of this? Because our brothers and sisters need to repent. The Lord is not going to allow us to be exuberant, enjoy talking about we got a breath of fresh air. The Lord is not bringing that to us. Don't be fooled. Read.
The media contributes to vacant esteem's formation by frequently displaying African Americans as criminals.
Hold it. Don't they do that? They make us look like criminals. Go ahead.
Sir. Cops. The show Cops.
Cops. You know that's what it's about. Clearly. Go ahead.
Disadvantaged.
Disadvantaged, meaning saying that we're on welfare and all this. Go ahead.
Academically deficient?
Academically deficient. That ain't what we was reading earlier with the brother who he loved numbers. But when once they kill, once they kill the aspirations, then they say, "Oh, you look at you now." After they've done the damage, then they say, "Look at you," and we will look at ourselves and actually internalize that and think that there's really something wrong with us academically. Go ahead.
And sexually irresponsible.
Sexually irresponsible. With all these, you're just laying down having babies. Where's your fathers at? They in jail. Why don't you take care? Why don't you stop? This and that and the other. Sexually irresponsible. Big butt having. This is how they talk about us.
WAP.
WAP. Oh, Lord have mercy. The media puts us out there like that. We got a lot of work to do, brothers and sisters. And there's another statistic out here which we didn't say during the whole show. Since 1973, along with the death of our kids that's happening in the schools, because we talked about how the conspiracy to destroy black boys, right? It's happening in the school systems. If they escape it, then they kill them some other kind of way. They always find a way to shear us off. But in addition to those terrible factors, 19 million of our babies have been aborted. Black babies have been aborted since 1973. So we got a hell of a problem going on. So ain't no such thing as me rejoicing because of one verdict. If this man get a million years, that ain't changed nothing.
It's just one.
That's just one. Right. And like I said, they'll hang his behind just to dupe the rest of us.
I would like to bring a scripture out.
Yes, sir.
You want to go and finish this, Bishop?
No, well, I'll come back to this because I got more to read. I ain't even hit the stuff yet.
Let me get Psalm 64 and 2, and we're going to read down to 4.
Psalms chapter 64, verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
Because all that's in secret.
Yes,
okay?
Sir.
They get together, they get into their councils. They hire their psychiatrists, a psychologist. Okay, read on.
From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
Of the workers of sin, because they pushing sin in their kingdom. Read.
Who whet their tongues like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
And that goes into we criminals, we thugs.
Right.
We don't want to learn. Okay. But they set it up for you to fail. Read on.
That they may shoot in secret at the perfect.
That they may do what?
Shoot in secret at the perfect.
So this all a secret, a plot. They're behind the scenes working. Read on.
Suddenly do they shoot at him. And fear not.
They don't have no fear, okay? They don't have no fear of all the wickedness. That's the pride that it is going into. That's the pride of these people, okay? Read on. That's it, Bishop.
Okay. Let's read on. Let's get to these points. Read that. The media contributes. Start with that again. Let's go through this thing because I want to get down to these lower parts.
The media contribute to vacant esteem's formation by frequently displaying African Americans as criminals, disadvantaged, academically deficient, and sexually irresponsible.
Right. You just lay down with anybody. You ain't looking to be married, you women. You men, you ain't looking to, you just pop each other.
Right.
That's what they're saying. That's how they speak about us. And sadly, we actually live this out because we actually think that's part of us, talking about some culture. That ain't culture.
That's them pushing their sin on us.
Exactly.
And we falling for it.
All these and more serve to influence how African Americans perceive themselves and so impact their assessment of their own worth.
So the point of the media doing this is for us to perceive ourselves in this manner. Look at that. All of these and more serve to influence how we perceive ourselves, so to impact our assessment of our own worth. That's the devalue that we do. That's how we deal. Read.
So what are the signs of vacant esteem?
Now we're getting ready to get into it. Check this out.
What are some of the behaviors and attitudes associated with it?
We're going to explore. We're going to explore it. Come on.
Consider this real-life example. In the summer of 1992, two teenage boys, call them Carl and Dominic, got into an argument outside of a local high school in Portland.
Now think about this here. This is about vacant esteem. This is what she breaks down. She's getting ready to give you a real live event. Of course, she had to change the names, But these people really did exist. Their names were changed for this point here. Read. They said, what are some of the behaviors and attitudes associated with it? Some of the behaviors is suicidal, homicidal, maniac, those kinds of things. These are some of the things that we see. Go ahead.
As onlookers watched, the argument, typically about nothing important, escalated.
You stepped on my shoes. That's what it means. Yep. You know, you got a bigger piece of chicken than me.
Yep.
Hey, somebody might be saying, what did he get talking about? What was that? Popeye's chicken?
Yep.
Yeah, Popeye.
Brothers died over that damn thing.
Mm-hmm. You jumped me.
You jumped me.
Right. You jumped me in the line, you know.
And died.
Right. What? You out of chicken? I've been waiting here for hours.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Almost like that gas crisis that's going on.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
You had a few flare-ups about that.
Yeah. Go ahead, read.
As onlookers watched, the argument, typically about nothing important, escalated until Carl pulled out a gun and pointed it at Dominic's face.
How in the world did Carl get a gun? I mean, yeah, who was it? Who was it that pulled the gun? Carl. Where did Carl get a gun from? That's like I used to say when I used to be in Harlem, crack vials all over the place. Where in the hell they get these things from? They don't make those vials in Harlem. Where did that stuff come from?
Right.
Go ahead.
The muzzle was no more than a foot from Dominic's eyes.
So he pulled a gun out on Dominic. Go ahead.
He remained perfectly still as he watched his adversary slowly pull the trigger.
Now Dominic is standing there, and Carl got a gun pointed like right here. Go ahead. And he's standing there, and he watched Carl pull the trigger, and I'm gonna stand there. This is what vacant esteem does. When you have no value of yourselves, you don't see your life as worthy of living. This is where drugs come in. This is where all of these things come in, where we don't care about our lives. The bad eating habits, all of these things come out of stuff like this. When you have a very low esteem about yourselves, we don't even take care of ourselves. All of that stuff. These traumatizing needs brought us all the way down into attitudes like this. Go ahead.
Click. The gun jammed.
The gun jammed. Go ahead.
Dominic did not run.
Dominic didn't run. The gun go click. That's your time to get the hell out of there. Go ahead.
Dominic did not attack.
Dominic didn't bum rush him. Because that's what is supposed to happen. The gun went click. That's my time for me to lay your, boom.
Right.
Go ahead. Instead,
he said angrily,
go ahead.
Do you think I'm afraid to die?
Do you think I'm afraid to die? Listen to that suicidal answer. Do you think I'm afraid to die? Why is he saying that? Because my life is worth nothing.
Mm-hmm. In other words, he wanted to die.
He wanted to die. That's the suicidal. That's what that vacant esteem leads to. This is where a lot of our people are right now. Why am I bringing all of this? Because we are trying to save our people through the scriptures. We're trying to save our people. Tell them they come out of her, my people, and repent. Because this is not normal. The way we're living is not normal, brothers and sisters. It's not. None of this ugliness, all this abortion, all this madness that's going on, none of this is normal. Read. He said, what? Did you think I was afraid?
Do you think I'm afraid to die? I ain't afraid to die.
I ain't afraid to die. Go ahead. What's the next piece? Come on.
One of the witnesses.
Zoom in. Let them see it. Come on. Get it closer. We just want that highlighted orange part. Go ahead. One of the witnesses
ran to call the police as Carl worked at unjamming his gun.
So here goes Carl trying to rack it again and get the thing cleared. And while he's doing that, the brother say, "Whoa, this is time to get the police." Go ahead. He said, "What?" One of the witnesses ran to call the police as Carl worked at unjamming his gun. Go ahead.
Someone screamed for Dominic to run.
Run, fool! That's what somebody's saying. But he's busy saying how bold I am. This is because his life has lined up so badly, he has no value for his life. And it's almost, like I said, suicide. He wants to just end life. I'm tired of living like this here. I'd rather die. Go ahead.
Someone screamed for Dominic to run as once again Carl pointed it at Dominic's head and pulled the trigger.
Go ahead.
Click. Jammed again.
The gun jammed again. Go ahead.
Still, Dominic didn't move.
Still, yo. Go ahead.
Again, Carl worked to unjam his gun. For the third time, he raised it up to Dominic's face and pulled the trigger.
Can you believe this was true? This actually happened? This is not a story. This is not a fairy tale. That this really happened. I've seen stuff like this happen. Go ahead.
Click. Jammed again. The fourth time the gun went off.
Pow!
Dominic was rushed to the hospital.
Go ahead.
The bullet went through his jaw. Miraculously, he survived.
So you know what? Now he's in the now he gets to come back out and say, I got street cred. I can use that to build up my esteem.
I ain't run.
I didn't run. I ain't no punk. I didn't run. This is what all this evil has boiled us down to. Stuff like this here. Give me my video. I think my next video. Yes. What is that? Yes, sir. I want that one there. Now, before we play it, when our brothers lose their esteem and lose their value, and we become indifferent to each other. Remember, we talked about the young boy, Daryl. He saw his brother, and he saw that there was something troubling him at home, and he went to console him. He went to speak with him, try to lift his spirits up. Right. We don't have that anymore because that was killed through the educational system. That was killed through all to the compounding of the various branches of this rotten tree that cause us to be monsters towards each other, to the point where stuff like this will happen. Play it.
A violent carjacking at a gas station in northwest Houston. All of this caught on camera.
Yeah, thieves attacked and they robbed a woman there. The good news is police found her car and they have that surveillance video right there that may help track down these guys.
Yeah, Chris Costa is live with more on how to stay safe in these kind of situations and avoid becoming a victim. Chris.
Yeah, Russ and Reka, Crime Stoppers of Houston say these types of robberies happen all the time, almost every day. The good news for that woman, those security cameras got a clear look at the suspects' faces. The moment a woman is attacked, gets caught on camera. Two men confront a woman at a gas station in the middle of the night. The cameras at the station get a clear look at their faces. One man grabs the woman.
She immediately tries to take a swipe to protect herself, to keep them off of her.
The other starts going through her truck. The woman fights back, kicking at her attacker until they both take off, stealing her truck.
One thing that I
all of that for a doggone truck. To carjack her truck.
Right.
Wanted to kill the woman. If they felt that if in order for them to get that truck, if that woman would have put up any more resistance, they would have killed her for a truck. This is because of vacant esteem. When we think that a truck is worth somebody's life. That's how bad things have gotten. Go ahead.
I suggest folks do is lock that car door the second that you get out of the car because it mitigates some of the loss.
Crime Stoppers Deputy Director Nicole Kristoff says robberies like this happen every day in Houston.
This is a crime of robbery.
Hold. Happens every day in Houston. So that means there's a big problem with our brothers down there.
Right.
That means we got some work to do.
We got some work to do.
Oh, yeah.
This is where it comes to the point where we, in IUIC, we got to be that beacon of light to make the change. It is incumbent upon us as men to do the things that our people need in terms of getting themselves right, because this Bible is their book. They have to learn this. This is not something that we're asking people to join per se. This is your book. This is the calibration of your whole lives. This is what's going to set your mind right, set your spirit right. But we have to do this. Our enemies ain't going to help us do this. We got to do this. And that's the reason why we continue to need your brothers' support, your sisters' support, because we got a lot of work to do. We got to undo stuff like this here. We got to curb abortions. We got to curb these different situations. Our young girls getting abducted, and you don't know what's happening to them. They putting them in sex rings, and all kind of things is going on out here in society now. We still haven't heard. Just because it faded from the news don't mean that it stopped going. Remember, we was doing a campaign. We're still doing it. It's just not publicized as much. But we got to put that information back out there. Our daughters are still being kidnapped and taken away. Okay, so we're still talking about it. It just ain't in the news media anymore. You're worrying about other stuff, but these things are still happening. We still have a lot of work to do, brothers and sisters. Still got a lot of work to do. Y'all want to say anything? What y'all got?
Well, I'm just looking at this video and it really hurts you because you definitely know that's one of our sisters out there. You see what I'm saying? A helpless woman. Right. That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's mother. That's somebody's grandmother.
Right. Or wife.
And definitely, it make you think about your own wife. You know what I'm saying? So that's not something that I'm definitely very upset to see. And it's going right down there in Houston, but this happening all over. It's just happening all over. This is just one of the incidents being captured. And here she is, over a truck. Like I said, if they just think if it wasn't even there where there's cameras even in the light and the opening, they had to do what they had to do quick and get out of there. But this man is somewhere up there to kill her or something. You know what I'm saying? And just left her, over a truck now.
And what you gonna do with the truck?
Exactly.
They
ain't even thinking about that.
Yeah, you can't. What you gonna do with the truck? You gonna ride it for so long, and then
you're gonna get pulled over. Somebody's gonna run the numbers and all. They're gonna find it stolen.
It might got a GPS on it. It might be a GPS.
You don't know what it is.
Right.
Exactly. But that's what happened. They say that we are capricious. We just respond without thinking. They say that about us too. And that's what that example would be. But how did we get to this? We broke the laws of the Most High, and it caused these curses to come upon us. And it's the reason why it led all the way down to these kinds of situations that we see here. It's a terrible thing, but, if we as men don't elect to fix these issues with our people, who's going to do it?
Right.
That's the thing we got to really understand. If we ourselves don't decide right now to make the difference, when is it going to get done? You can't. If it's a slur on our own manhood if we say, hey, white man, come fix our problems. And we're men. We're standing up here with a badge of manhood on us. That makes no sense at all.
He's the one that's causing the problem.
Exactly.
So he's not going to fix it.
No.
Vain help.
Exactly.
Bishop.
Yes, sir.
If in the example that Dr. Jordan Greer brought out, it was Carl and Dominic. They were both young black men, right?
Exactly.
But these are two young black men.
Exactly.
If it wasn't bad enough that their esteem was so vacant from the trauma and from the pressures of society, Esau, that they would point a gun at each other over an argument that usually, like it said, was over nothing.
Right.
They are willing in real life here to do that same gun pointing at someone that doesn't look just like them, which they see as nothing, but their own mother, which apparently they see as nothing.
Exactly. That's heavy. So there's so many different avenues that you can go just on that statement alone. That's for real. Give me my last video. I'm gonna play this and then we're gonna move on out. Is it a video or is it an article? Yes, let's play that. I had something with Rodney King, but let's move on to this because this jumped up in the news also. Play that. I mean, let the brother see that. Lie, Kim, you got me right?
Yes, sir.
Come on with it.
Former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger asked appeals court to throw out murder conviction for killing Botham Jean.
Oh Lord have mercy, Jesus!
Throw it out, huh?
Throw it out. It's ludicrous. I'm a white woman, damn it.
Just throw it out, huh?
Just throw it out. Man dead. Throw it out. Indifferent. Well, she's no different from Chauvin. The fact that you even asking that. They didn't deal with Dylan Roof that way. Why they didn't deal with him? They didn't. You understand what I'm saying? They should have killed his behind.
I knew this was coming too, Bishop.
Lord have mercy. I knew. We all thought about it. Once the brother got in court, got all emotional, said, I don't want her to get no jail time. They said, no, we're gonna make this thing ride now. And the defense, the family's defense wanted to get 28 years. I guess that was how old Botham was. The man that killed the victim. They wanted to get every year, lock her behind up for 28 years. The white man in the court was trying to get that. Then the other side said, no, I don't want her to go to jail. The judge comes off and gives her Bible. It's pathetic. It's the sickest thing you can ever imagine. Brothers and sisters, concerning that, one of the last times I was in New York, I did a video called "The Negro in Christianity." There's some vacant esteem for you right there. The Negro in Christianity. I dealt with that. Me and Officer Liam and Deacon Asaph, we dealt with this subject here. So y'all might want to check that out to see how wicked the system is because of the way that man was murdered and how they try to cover it up and even kill witnesses. They try to say that it wasn't that. They're trying to say that the brother that saw the thing happen, he just all of a sudden died because of some drug deal that went bad. That's BS.
Right.
No, that ain't what happened. He was going to talk. And now you see the reason why they had to get rid of him because look at what they're doing now. Read that thing, man.
Dallas, CNN. An attorney for Amber Geiger, the white former Dallas police officer convicted of killing black neighbor Botham Jean in his apartment, asked a Texas appeals court Tuesday to acquit her of murder or find her guilty of a lesser charge.
Acquit her of murder. Wow. The nerve of these people. Go ahead.
Geiger testified at her 2019 trial that after working long hours on September 6, 2018, she returned to her Dallas apartment complex.
Stop. At this point, that was where that brother was a witness. And he said it went a different way. And he was going to testify. And his ass got put to death. They killed him. They killed him to keep him from talking.
Right.
Because if he would have spoke, none of this would even be up here. Just think about how systematic, how they plotted that thing. He's out of the way. Now they're going to say, well, what proof do you have that it wasn't a drug deal and such and such? Forget about that. I've been around you people to know enough to know how you deal.
Right.
You deal like that. He's behind, is gone. All of a sudden, miraculously, she comes up a year later. Probably not even a year later. Talk about, I'm trying to see if it's almost a year. A year later, talking about, drop the charges. The man dead. When the judge gave her a Bible, what part of the Bible did she read to come back and say she ain't guilty?
Right.
These people cannot be harmed with Chalmers. They will not hearken to the voice of Chalmers like we read earlier. Here the black judge gave her the Bible and thought that was going to work. She going to throw the Bible, probably wipe her behind with it. And then she going to come up and talk about something. I ain't guilty of the murder at all. I want to get off completely. Read that thing again. Give me a lesser charge. She don't want no lesser charge. She want to get off scot-free.
Right.
She want to get off completely. Read that thing again, man.
From the top.
Yeah.
Dallas CNN. An attorney for Amber Geiger, the white former Dallas police officer convicted of killing black neighbor Botham Jean in his apartment.
His apartment. He didn't steal it. He wasn't a squatter. Go ahead.
Asked the Texas appeals court Tuesday to acquit her of murder or find her guilty.
Hold. See what it said? Acquit her. Acquittal mean you walk free.
Right.
With all that GoFundMe money that she's already gotten. They got her taken care of. She ain't got to work no more, period.
Wow.
She's set.
Right.
A murderer. She's set. She ain't got to worry about nothing. Her house is paid off. Medical bills. She's good to go. Go ahead.
Or find her guilty of a lesser charge. Geiger testified at...
She want to slap on the wrist. That's basically what she want. Go ahead.
Geiger testified at her 2019 trial that after working long hours on September 6, 2018, she returned to her Dallas apartment complex.
She returned to her Dallas apartment complex. Go ahead.
In uniform but off duty, she approached what she thought was her apartment. She noticed the door was partially open, saw a man inside who she believed to be an intruder, and fired her service weapon, killing him.
So found the door partially open, so she thought she was being robbed. But how could you believe that when the actual witness had a different story? But he's out the way. So being that he's out of the way, now we can spin the thing that what we want, and perhaps we can just get her off because niggas ain't worth nothing anyway. That's the narrative. That's how they sing. Like I said, that ape stage thing, they still think of us that way. But we're the sons and daughters of God. The hell with them. The hell with all their thoughts, their religion, the hell with all of them. We are the jewels of God, and don't you ever forget that.
Right.
Don't you ever forget that. Read.
She was actually at the apartment. Directly above hers, where John, a 26-year-old PricewaterhouseCoopers accountant.
Hold it. They would have probably tried to demonize him because they did. They tried to say he was in the drugs.
Right.
You see the narrative again? Like we was reading about in the Jawanza Kunjufu book, we like numbers. Here this brother's dealing with numbers in the county. He's made it to 28 years old. An accountant. He had no reason to die. And you just want to just say, his murder, I made a mistake.
Right.
As a police officer, you can't make those kinds of mistakes. There's accountability. Black people talking about some accountability. You have to be accountable. You carrying that gun, you carrying certain powers, you have to own it. The hell is this? A man is dead. Got some damn nerve. Go ahead, man.
Prosecutor said John had been on the couch in his shorts watching TV and
He
eating.
was watching TV in his house, in his shorts, watching TV, his own TV that he paid for, sitting on his own couch that he paid for, eating his own ice cream, vanilla ice cream. Hell, that should have got him some points. Hell.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And eating vanilla ice cream when Geiger walked in and fatally shot him.
You eating white ice cream, damn it! And fatally shot him. Go ahead. And she wants to get off. Unbelievable. You accidentally shoot a dog, you might get life and the electric chair.
Right.
But she wants to get off.
This whole thing sounds just like a lie.
It is a lie. Because of what we read in Psalms. Their whole system is a lie. And some people got the doggone foolery in their mind to think that this is that this could be the kingdom of God. You are crazy as hell.
But this was the springboard to get her back out again.
Yeah, exactly. Read.
In October 2019, a jury found Geiger guilty of murdering John and sentenced her to 10 years in prison.
Go ahead.
Geiger's defense claims that
I'm trying to remember something about the 10, because if it would have been a little bit more than 10, she would not have been able to appeal, something like that. I'm going to look that up. Don't hold me to that. Let me find out more about that, because that number 10 was significant for her to be able to do what she's doing now. Go ahead.
Geiger's defense claims there was insufficient evidence to convict her of murder. The defense has asked the
Insufficient evidence. The ballistics is from the gun that's registered to you. What do you mean?
Wow.
Insufficient. Unbelievable.
evidence.
Did you murder him?
She shot him.
She shot him.
So
that almost remind me of that Emmett Till jury. Huh?
Exactly.
So there was no evidence to put these people away for murder.
But
because he whistled at this woman.
She walked in his apartment and shot him.
These people are the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Insufficient evidence.
Insufficient evidence. Go ahead.
The defense has asked the 5th District Court of Appeals in Dallas to either acquit Geiger of that charge or make a finding of criminally negligent homicide, which carries a punishment of 6 months to 2 years.
There you go.
And hold a new hearing on the punishment.
So this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to basically get that woman off. They even got her in other pictures where she got blonde hair looking like a soccer mom and all of that. Try to take the demon look off of her. And some of our people bought that. This is really pathetic.
Was it 6 months to 2 years? So if she get a lesser time served, you can go home.
And then even stuff like that, they will use time served.
Yeah, time served.
So she'll walk.
She'll go home.
She'll basically be out.
Immediate release.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Brothers and sisters, we gotta repent. We gotta return to the Most High. Okay. Next week we're gonna bring the conclusion to this series. So with that, we're going to close up for tonight. But again, the message is for our brothers and sisters to repent, return unto the Lord. The Lord said for us to gather ourselves together. That's what the scripture said in Zephaniah 2:1. All right. So go ahead, brothers. What you got?
Don't neglect to give alms. For those who would like to give alms, fill out an envelope and place it in the alms box. To give alms online, donate to IUIC Concord via PayPal at iuic.concord.nc@israelunite.org. Donate to the Booster Club via PayPal at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org.
Okay. All praise to the Most High, brothers and sisters. We say shalom to you. Happy Sabbath. Stay faithful. Stay in this. Stay focused. And most of all, stay in the spirit. I'm Bishop Yawasab, along with Captain
Soraya,
Officer Ikea,
Officer Eliakim,
and also my brothers on the mix. You got Soldier Uriah, also Officer Gidron, and Officer Kaz is in the booth, and also Officer O.C. No,
Soldier O'Shea.
O'Shea.
Soldier O'Shea.
Soldier O'Shea. Is Soldier Israel in there as well?
Yes, sir.
So we in the win, brothers and sisters.
Shalom,
Happy
Israel.
Sabbath.
Happy
We out.
Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Most High Christ bless y'all.
Most High Christ bless.